Hey everyone, this is MJ. You are at my channel called Reading This Life. In this video, we are going to talk about GarbAugust Week 2 Vintage. Are you ready to talk some trash? And before we get started, remember to like this video, comment down below. Let me know, are you participating in GarbAugust? Do you like reading vintage literature? Let me know in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do so. So GarbAugust is the Booktube event going on, created by Criminali and his team of hosts, 13 devilish hosts. I had a bad week, man. I had a bad week. So I got through one book. I had a DNF as well. So let's talk about what I started. So yeah, don't go ask Alice. Save your time for a better book, for a book that is in alignment with vintage trash, with vintage GarbAugust. No thanks. So I started this book with an open mind, and what happened was it just didn't jive with me. First of all, the language in the book is not reflective of a teenager in America. In the, is it 60s? When was this published? This was published in 1967. The progression from the beginning of her use of substances all the way up until she is dealing and full-on hooked is just too fast. It's too soon, too fast, in my opinion. And there's no event. There's no sorrow, loss, trigger. There's nothing in life that is driving her to use drugs. This is written in a way to put fear and shock in people's lives to prevent them from going down the same road. People that have substance abuse disorders, in my experience, there's always something. There's some flashpoint that triggers the use. I don't see a flashpoint in this book. I didn't find it respectful for me to continue reading that book based on my knowledge and experience that I have with the recovering community. So I DNF'd it at page 80 because it really made me mad. It just made me mad. For someone to go from entry level of using substances all the way to dealing, having a drug dealer boyfriend who turns out may not be her boyfriend at all, and progressing to heroin use in the amount of time just is fiction. Yeah. So I DNF this book based on that, based on my respect for anyone that has ever gone through recovery, that has been through substance abuse counseling, that may still be struggling with substance abuse. This book, you can wipe your ass with it. Okay, so that's that book. And I'm not going to say anything else on it. Okay, let's get happy again. All right, so don't go ask Alice. Do not go and ask Alice. It's trash. But it's trash not even in a GarbAugust trash way. It's trash that it's just not good. It's not good. Period. It's terrible. So she starts using drugs in September, December 3rd. Last night was the worst night of my shitty, rotten, stinky, dreary, fucked up life. She really have a fucked up life. She ran away from home. There were only 4 of us, and Sheila and Rod, her current boyfriend, introduced us to heroin. At first, we were a little afraid. But they convinced us that the horror stories were just so many American myths. Ha! But I guess I was pretty excited, and the truth is I really couldn't wait when I was watching them set up. Smack is a great sensation, different from anything I've ever had before. I felt gentle and drowsy and wonderfully soft, like I was floating above reality and the mundane things were lost forever in space. But just before I was too out of it to notice what was going on, I noticed that Sheila and that sucker she was going up, lighting up and setting out speed. I remember wondering why they were getting high when they had just set out on this wonderful low, and it wasn't until later that I realized the dirty son of a bitches had taken turns raping us and treating us sadistically and brutally. What? Okay. So yeah. Don't go ask Alice. Save your time for a better book, for a book that is in alignment with vintage trash, with vintage GarbAugust. No thanks. It's a disservice to people in recovery. Okay. Off that tangent. Okay? All right. Okay. So I DNF'd. Then I decided, let's try Leonard Cohen. Let's go through Beautiful Losers. Songwriter, Leonard Cohen. Blurb on the back. Leaves one grasping for breath as well as suitable words. Cohen is a powerful, poetic writer. Boston Sunday Herald says, brilliant, explosive, a fountain of talent. James Joyce is not dead. He lives in Montreal under the name of Cohen, writing from the point of view of Henry Miller. Okay. I struggle with this book. I struggle with this book because it is really over the top. So, hell is an apartment in Montreal where a bereaved and less tormented narrator reconstructs his relations with the dead. In that hell, 2 men and a woman twine impossibly and betray one another again and again. Memory blurs into blasphemous sexual fantasy. And redemption takes the form of an Iroquois saint and virgin who has been dead for all of 300 years, but still has the power to save even the most degraded of her suitors. This book I equated to House of Leaves, but with spice. It is very graphic. It is problematic. There are significant issues with this book. This was published and written in 1966. In doing research, it states that this was actually written by Cohen. It is his second and last. It is his second and final novel before he became a songwriter. I like Leonard Cohen. I don't really like this book. So, this is trash. Give you a little bit about Leonard Cohen for all the youngins out there. Leonard Cohen was born in Montreal in 1934. While attending McGill University, he formed a country western trio called the Buckskin Boys and published his first book of poetry, Let Us Compare Mythologies. 7 other collections of poetry, 2 novels, and 11 albums followed. Mr. Cohen. So this book is divided into 3 sections. The first is the history of them all. The second is a long letter from F And the last is Beautiful Losers. Now, there is an unknown narrator in this book who is having delusions, daydreams, fantasies, remnant memories of his deceased wife, who he finds out had sexual relations with his good friend. And that trio is reliving incidents and different experiences, and a lot of it just doesn't make sense, but I digress. There's also, interestingly enough, Leonard Cohen decides to put ads, and not commercial ads, but his own written ads in the book for a free book coupon for how to get thin legs, and also beads containing water. Beads containing water from the miraculous fountain at Lourdes. So I think that's right up there with the cigarette ad, no? Maybe a little bit more creative. So the reason I struggled with this is because for half of the book, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And I stuck with it for the artistry, for how he put together these scenarios and these memories. There's a few pages in here that just has random words, and he's trying to link them all together. They're actually small sentences, if you can see this. It's some House of Leaves shit. I'll read you a little bit. I am surrounded by members of your court. I am frightened that my prayer will fall into my mind. Somewhere this morning, agony is explained. The newspaper says that a human embryo was found wrapped in a newspaper and that a doctor is suspected. I am trying to know you in the kitchen where I sit. I fear in my small heart. I cannot understand why my arm is not a lilac tree. I am frightened because death is your idea. Now do I not think it behooves me to describe your world? The bathroom door is opening by itself, and I am shivering with so much fear. Oh God, I believe your morning is perfect. Nothing will happen incompletely. Oh God, I am alone in the desire of my education, but a greater desire must be lodged with you. I am a creature in your morning, writing a lot of words beginning with capitals, which is what he's doing. Is he being funny? It has here, the complex novel makes use of a vast range of literary techniques and a wealth of illusion, imagery, and symbolism. It is filled with the mysticism, radicalism, sexuality, and drug-taking emblematic of the 1960s era, and is noted for its linguistic, technical, and sexual excesses. It says Cohen wrote the novel in 2 8-month spurts while living on the Greek island of Hydra in 1964 and 1965. He fasted and consumed amphetamines to focus his creativity on the novel. Despite a lavish rollout, sales were disappointing, critics were initially unsympathetic or hostile. The book gained critical and commercial attention only after Cohen had given up novel writing and turned to songwriting and performing, which his fame rests today. Beautiful Losers has come to be seen as having introduced postmodernism to Canadian literature. It has become a steady seller and is considered part of the Canadian literary canon. Whew. Yeah, so it's a very complicated love triangle. With a lot of spice, a lot of problematic language that made me a little angry. I was about to DNF it, and I went on Discord and I said, I'm having issues with it. I don't completely understand it. It does not read like... Is it a story? Yes, but it does not read like a story because in my mind's eye, there's a layer of art over all of it. And you have to peel back the art to see what the story is, if that makes sense. So, I'm going to give this... I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 stars on GoodReads. Trash can wise, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 because it's trashy as all hell. I'm going to say it, I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed because I was thinking that the Leonard Cohen that wrote this was the musician already. So, knowing now that he was a novelist before he became a songwriter, makes a little more sense. Yeah. People I talked to on Discord also said they read it, they don't remember it. Maybe somebody didn't really like it. So I am definitely in that category that this is a House of Leaves from 1966 with a lot of sex acts, variety in all of that. Yeah. And then the Iroquois Saint thrown in there to gain redemption. I'm moving on, people. I'm moving on. Okay. So, yeah. So, Beautiful Losers is going to be 2 stars on GoodReads and 5 trash cans because it is trashy as all hell. Okay. So, this week coming up is Anything Goes. So, for that, I am going to be doing Richard Laymon. I'm going to be doing a vlog for this. This is Richard Laymon in the Cellar. I'm going to start something completely different and go for My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is my group read on my channel. This should be entertaining, at least. This was not entertaining. This I had significant issues with. Sorry, guys. I guess I just picked the wrong books to read for Vintage Week. It wasn't a lot of fun for me. Well, no, it wasn't a lot of fun. Okay. It was just different and not my cup of tea. Okay. So, that's it here from me. I hope you are all doing well and staying safe. I hope you are taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. Make sure that you are reading good books. Don't be like me and just have 2 really bad picks. And, you know, I also had this week, I went to 2 concerts, you know, and that took a lot of time. That was like 2 days. So I didn't get a heck of a lot of reading done, but those are the 2. 1 DNF and I finished 1. So I'll take it. So yeah, so this week coming up is going to be way better, I predict. Way better than last week. Leonard Cohen, if you're a fan and you want to read it, go ahead. Just be prepared for a lot. All right, everyone. Until next time. Goodbye for now.